Welcome to Manatee County's presentation on identifying cash and cash equivalents within the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2018. CAFR stands for Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. A CAFR is a set of financial statements for municipalities, county, and state governments that comply with the accounting requirements established nationally by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. The report is produced by the Manatee County Clerk, Angelina Coloniso, and the clerk has received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Governmental Finance Officers Association, the leader in the nation, for the 40th consecutive year. This Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting. External auditors audit and provide a written opinion on the report, and the report is commonly referred to as the CAFR. The CAFR consists of three sections: introductory, financial, and statistical. We will be looking at the financial section to identify the county's cash and cash equivalents. The financial section is summarized into an entity-wide report, which identifies at a very high level a simplified summary. However, in government, cash may only be used for the purposes for which it was collected. This establishes legal constraints to the uses. To better understand how the cash may be applied, the fund level statements help identify the legal uses of the cash. The purpose of this presentation is to provide clarity as to the identified legal requirements of cash. It is very important to note that the entity-wide level statements cannot be interpreted without the underlying fund level statements. The presentation located on page 13 of the CAFR starts our discussion on cash and cash equivalents. As you note on this one-page high-level summary, there are two categories that the financial report identifies: governmental activities and business activities. Governmental activities include items such as general administration, public safety, and streets and roads. Business activities are financed by fees charged for goods or services and are reported as enterprise funds. Examples would be the utility system. Cash and cash equivalents are really divided into three specific areas located on this page: current assets, current restricted assets held for specific items, and non-current restricted cash, representing cash identified for long-term use. Please note that the accounting term restricted does not necessarily correlate with the legal use restrictions. The tourist tax fund has unrestricted cash, but cannot be used for any other item other than the restrictions the ordinance has set in place in order for them to collect the tourist tax. As noted on page 13 of the CAFR, the total of these items for Manatee County is $906.4 million. To further identify Manatee County's cash and cash equivalents, we've summarized the total and the CAFR reference page where they can be identified. Again, to understand the total of the entity-wide, we first have to look to the fund statements. On page 15 of the CAFR, the fund statements begin to identify the funds first of the governmental activities. Identified as major funds to the county are the General Fund, Highway Special Revenue Fund, and Impact Fee Capital Project Fund. Each fund has a collected revenue for specific items. The Highway Special Revenue Fund has collected gas taxes for the maintenance of roads and therefore may not be spent to assist affordable housing. The Impact Fees Capital Projects hold cash for identified capital projects which have been paid for with growth impact fees. The impact fees cannot pay for the maintenance of existing sheriff or ambulance vehicles. Beginning on page 67, Further details as to the special revenue funds, funds where revenue has been assessed for certain items, are identified. As noted in this list, each fund holds revenue which is special to the reason it was collected. Again, the tourist development taxes collected may not assist affordable housing, and fees charged by the building department may not assist the library. Cash for the debt service funds and capital project funds are identified beginning on page 69 of the CAFR. Again, each fund has designated restrictions on the cash held within the funds. The capital projects identify the cash held for the types of projects within the capital improvement plan. Funding held within capital projects hold cash for committed contracts which are under design and construction. Finally, the county has internal service funds, which serve all the different areas of the county. As an example, our motor pool, or fleet fund, purchases all the vehicles for the county and maintains them. Each fund or program is charged appropriately for the vehicle in use. The largest fund to note is the Health Self-Insurance Fund, which is due to the fact Manatee County is a self-insured health program. Again, the $64 million noted on this page cannot be spent to provide road maintenance or to increase ambulance workers. For all the funds within governmental activities, the total cash and cash equivalent equals $486.9 million. But as noted within the fund statements, they cannot be used interchangeably but for the use for which the revenue is collected. A good example of this concept are gas taxes collected by the Highway Fund cannot be used for sheriff's deputies. Cash received from impact fees cannot be used for the maintenance of the park. The general fund is the only cash without restriction. The total available cash for each fund is programmed every year into the new budget. Please see the budget presentation to identify how the cash is placed into the budget every year. Our business activities begin on page 22 of the CAFR. The largest being the water and sewer. Inside this $336.4 million amount, there are capital projects, maintenance projects, and facility investment fees along with operations. The rate feasibility study provides the roadmap for the financial plan of the system. The Port Authority cash equivalents of $14.8 million noted here are included in the CAFR. However, the Port Authority Board governs the budget and the use of the funds, and therefore cannot be used interchangeably with road maintenance. The Solid Waste Fund also holds the funding necessary for the long-term closure of the landfill. As of September 30th, 2018, $36.3 million of the $54.7 million identified is for the long-term closure of the landfill and represents the non-current restricted amount noted on the slide in the beginning. Total business activities, again, total $419.6 million, and each has restrictions as to why they are used. Again, utility fees collected cannot be used for the ambulances, and solid waste fees cannot be used for the maintenance of parks. Legal restrictions are in place for every dollar. To provide a visual breakdown of the cash and cash equivalents, this pie chart depicts the $906.4 million cash and cash equivalents for Manatee County divided by its uses. As noted, the general fund is the fund which has the availability to be used for the overall needs of the county. The budget annually brings in this cash into each program for the next year's budget. For additional information, please see our white paper reports, cash and cash equivalents, and the one on chart and cash equivalents. These are located on our website, mymanatee.org, under the Financial Management Department Budget Division.